Hello friends and welcome back to Preference Gaming. This is Know Your Weapon and today we're going to be taking a look at the M4 Carbine. But before we do that, no, you're not going insane. I do in fact sound different, and that is because I'm no longer wearing my G930s on my head, inducing me in what I call hyper rage, where I take them off and throw them across the room in anger because they keep cutting in and out, and it's very frustrating and makes life just not very enjoyable when it comes to playing video games. But I have this. The sound quality is phenomenal. I hear everything. Fantastic, I love them. But with the new headset comes a new mic, and so I'm going to sound different. Still planning on getting a desktop mic, just holding off for a little while longer. So let me know what you think of this mic quality in the meantime, and hopefully you don't say anything too mean and hurtful, because I would like to go to bed without crying tonight. So if you could maybe show a little restraint and not type things like you sound gay, super gay, because that's mean and hurtful, not necessary. You could just say it doesn't sound that great, and that would be acceptable. I could live with that. But let's get talking about the M4 Carbine. First thing you're going to notice right off the bat is, yes, I am using a suppressor on that. I have a really solid reason for that, and it's because Battlefield has changed, and the amount of bullets it takes to kill is nothing short of ridiculous. And this weapon with a suppressor happens to be really accurate, and so yeah, we're going to use a suppressor. But before we get into the full details of the loadout, I would just like to say that I kind of feel like a secret agent. Not because I'm using a suppressor on the M4, but because I'm using a suppressor on my Deagle, because I'm using a suppressor on my M4. And it makes me feel kind of like a super spy, and I like that. And now that I've expressed what I feel was appropriate and necessary amount of nerdiness, let's talk about our loadout. For the optic, we're using the Coyote red dot sight for the same reason we always do. It's consistency. I like using it, so we use it. Every time. On everything. Except for a few things that we don't use it on. We'll go over that later. And for our accessory, using the green laser sight. That's right. I know. Shocking that I would use a green laser sight. It's not like it's the best thing in the game. But moving on. For the barrel, we're using the suppressor. You knew that already. It's not really hidden. And for the underbarrel, we're using the ergo grip. And not just because it makes the gun look really cool. It's because it helps with like hip fire or something. I don't know, who cares? It makes the gun look cool. And for our paint, we're using the blue sky, because you know, I just feel kind of like daydreaming a little bit. And blue sky, you know, laying down in the field, looking at the blue sky. That's how I feel. Okay? Yeah. So, the reason we're using the Coyote, consistency. The reason we're using the green laser sight, best thing there is. We use the suppressor because we want to be silent, we want to be deadly, and the gun is really accurate with the suppressor. Of course, you don't want to be doing a whole lot of moving because it will throw your accuracy really off, really badly, but standing still, shooting it will do a remarkably accurate job. And the bullet drop really isn't all that dramatic, and considering it takes 7 bullets to kill anybody at ranges of greater than like 30 meters, really don't want to be focusing on long range engagements unless you happen to have a whole bunch of your team shooting at them and you know the person is probably going to be already weakened, because you're not going to be getting a whole lot of kills at range. Even if your gun was really accurate, when it takes 7 bullets to kill somebody, you're talking 3 bursts, and that's if 7 out of those 9 bullets hit. So you're looking at least half a mag realistically to kill somebody at a long range. And even then, a lot of times you're going to be spending a whole mag to kill somebody with full health at range. So it's just not hardly worth taking those engagements. So we want to up the sneak factor, and that's why we're using our suppressor, because we're going to have solid, tight groupings. We're going to be accurate. We're using the ergo grip because it's going to give us that hip fire bonus, and we need that in case we get into some area situation, because we're going to be playing a little more aggressive, and so we need to do what we need to do, and it gets the job done. So we're going to be really accurate, and we're going to try really hard to get behind people where they don't see us, because again, it's still going to take 5 or 6 bullets to kill somebody, even up close, and so you want to get your burst rhythm down so your gun doesn't jam. Yes, I don't know why exactly they have burst guns jam the way they do. It's more of an annoyance than anything else. After about 200 kills with a weapon, you shouldn't really be clicking it in such a way as to jam it anymore. At that point, you should have a really familiar pattern down, but then you will go and use something that isn't burst fire weapon for a while, and lo and behold, you will have lost your tap rhythm again, and that sucks. Also, C4. And I realize I've already kind of touched on it, but in terms of pack position, back of the pack, pretty much as useless as can be. Middle of the pack, you're going to be able to get some work done. It's going to be solid. But I would say overall the best place to be is if you're Lone Ranger, then you want to be front of the pack because you can get in there and get a lot of kills with that suppressor before they realize what's going on. Otherwise, I'm going to say that you want to be somewhere in between front and middle of the pack. And that's going to be because you're going to get the accuracy that you need from the suppressor, and it's going to be really accurate with that suppressor. And at the same time, you're not going to, you know, really put yourself in so much danger because your teammates are actively giving your position away because they're shooting without suppressors. So that's where that nice balance is. A lot of Lone Ranger action going on with the suppressor, and that's what worked best for me. Probably worked best for you, I hope. Anyway, well, that's pretty much what I have for you guys. Thanks for watching. As always, God bless. Now go shoot somebody in the face quietly. One last thing, you should definitely expect moments of wanting to punch yourself in the face because it feels like you've shot someone 1,000 times, because that's going to happen and they're not going to die. Thanks, guys.